Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here again. Oh my gosh, how time is flying. We have very exciting topics to discuss with you today. So please make sure you're tuned in. If you can hear me and see me well, please drop USA or the US flag in the comment section so we can get started. We have a lot to discuss today. Drop USA, US flag in the comment section so I can be sure you guys can hear me. I'm not talking to myself. Crazy updates. Make sure you are tuned in. Don't move an inch and drop USA, USA. Let me see. I see people dropping USA on Instagram, TikTok. I don't have any signal that they can hear me. If you're on TikTok, please drop USA if you can hear us and see as well. YouTube, LinkedIn, please drop it, and let's get started. All right. I hope everyone is doing well. We have a number of topics to discuss, so we're going to get started now so we can run through all of them. I think some of the topics deserve their own live sessions. So depending on how this goes, we may carve out a session for particular topics. Okay, so also get your questions ready and let's have a wonderful discussion. Okay, let me get started here. So I'm sure many of you have heard about the Dignity Act 2025. Dignity Act 2025. I'm going to tell you guys about it and the chances of this becoming a law. It's just been introduced into the House of Representatives. Okay, so there is a bill or a proposal by a Republican representative. She's called Maria Salazar, and she's introduced something called the Dignity Act of 2025, and it is supposed to provide, that's the highlight for many people. It's supposed to provide undocumented immigrants with an opportunity to obtain legal status so long as they meet certain criteria that is carved out in the bill or in the proposal. It has other parts we'll discuss. I have a one pager of the bill that she has proposed here. We'll take a look at it very briefly. It is a bipartisan bill, meaning that it's not just from one side. You know, in the US, we have the Republican, the Democrat side. So Veronica Escobar, I believe, is from the Democrat side, and then Maria Salazar is a Republican. And they've come together to present this bill. There are other co-sponsors or sponsors, I believe. You know, now you guys, if you remember, those of you who have been following us long enough, a version of this bill was introduced in 2023. 2023, a version of this bill was introduced, the Dignity Act of 2023. Oh, we were so excited. You know, it had bright promises. It was saying that they were going to give undocumented immigrants a path to lawful status, and then they could even become citizens. They just had to pay some penalties, and they had to be living in the US from a certain time. We were very excited. But unfortunately, that bill, the Dignity Act of 2023, introduced by this same woman, Maria Elvira Salazar, who's a Republican in the state of Florida, for the House of she's a rep in Florida for the House of Representatives, introduced by her, and this same Veronica Escobar, the same duo. Same thing, the bill went nowhere. It did not advance. I tracked that bill, the 2023 bill, and it was just dead. It just was dead on arrival. It didn't even advance to get voted upon, nothing. So I'm going to tell you why, you know, in my quick review, I don't believe that this is going to pass. Of course, if it becomes law, we'll all be very, very happy, very, very happy, because it's going to stop all this chaos. It will bring a lot of calm and hope to millions of people. But we have to look at the reality. I don't believe that is going to pass, especially because they've done this before, very, very similar. I believe this time she tried to tone down, because some of the Republicans were against the first bill. What they said was that they are not in favor of amnesty. They are not in favor of rewarding undocumented immigrants with citizenship. And so this time she said, okay, undocumented immigrants will get some status. They will not ultimately get US citizenship, but they'll just be given, status. And then that's how it will go. Okay, so now let me go here to, let's move on here. Let's move on here. Okay. So despite the fact that it's a bipartisan bill, meaning, you have people from both the Republican side and Democratic side coming together, the Republicans, many of them don't want amnesty or trying to give citizenship or some type of status to undocumented immigrants, because they feel like you are just rewarding them or rewarding people for breaking the law. So they are very opposed to it. Okay, let's go on here. I have something something right here we're going to talk about. So now Salazar and Escobar, Maria Salazar and Veronica Escobar, they formally introduced the Dignity Act of 2025 in the House of Representatives. And now what is supposed to happen is that the speaker has to refer to the relevant committees, which I believe they'll have to refer to the House Judiciary Committee, which oversees immigration and other related matters. Now, before we even move on to, the House of Representatives, just remember that I believe it's Article 1 of the US Constitution. It says that the laws of the US is made by Congress, and Congress is a bicameral thing, right? So it's made up of two divisions. We have the House of Representatives and we have the Senate. So before anything can become a law in the United States, it has to be first introduced either in the House or in the House of or in Senate. Generally in the House of Representatives. Once it's introduced in the House of Representatives, then it has to go through various committees where they will review the law, they'll amend, the writing, they'll vote upon it, advance it into the House for it to be voted upon, and then it can progress to Senate. But once, we've mentioned that once somebody has a proposal that, oh, I want this to become law, right? They have to refer to the relevant committee. In this case, it's likely the House Judiciary Committee because it oversees immigration matters. The committee members, they will review the proposal, and then they'll hold hearings. They can amend the bill through a process known as a markup, like, oh, let's say this way. Why don't we change this a little bit here? Why don't we add this or take this out? If the committee votes to approve the bill, then it will issue a report that will recommend it for consideration by the full House of Representatives. So the House Majority Leader will work with the Speaker to place the bill on the House floor schedule. Then the full House will hold debates, they will propose amendments to the bill, then they'll vote on the final passage. The current chair, of the House of Judiciary Committee is somebody called the Representative Jim Jordan. He will decide whether the committee will take up the bill. He is going to decide whether the bill is going to get a hearing, is going to get a markup, and is going to get a committee vote. Now, this chair of the House Judiciary Committee, where this bill is supposed to go, this man, Jim Jordan, he is the first blocker, likely person to block this, because If the bill doesn't move in the committee, it cannot reach the full house for a vote unless some special procedures are used. So if the chair doesn't bring up a bill, then it typically will not move forward. Now, Jim Jordan, who's the chair of the Judiciary Committee, he's a Republican, and I checked on his website, and he says the first lines of his website, he says this about himself: I am steadfastly against illegal immigration and amnesty for illegal immigrants. Full stop. Now, this same Jim Jordan, became the chair of the House Judiciary Committee in January 2023. The same bill was introduced, as I told you, in May 2023, and it never went before the full House to be voted upon, because this Jim Jordan guy was right there, and he is against amnesty. He says it himself. He said, I am steadfastly against illegal immigration and amnesty for illegal immigrants. And so I don't see how this is going to make it past this first barrier. I'm not even going to go on the other, onto the other possible barriers that could block this bill. But the Judiciary Committee is the next step after the bill. And the chair of the Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan, has to decide that he's going to bring up the bill. This man said, I am against amnesty. I'm against anything illegal immigration. And he goes on to say, my strategy for dealing with the many problems posted by illegal immigration is threefold: secure the border, robustly enforce our immigration laws, and fix the system so it works for those who want to come into our country legally. So this man stands on it. Unless some serious prayers go up and something changes, then I honestly do not foresee this advancing beyond all this media maybe gimmick and attention. So, okay, let's go on now. We're still going to just really briefly review what the bill contains, so you guys will see what it's all about. Let me go here. I pulled up the one pager from Maria Salazar's website. She is the main sponsor of the bill. She's reintroduced it, as we mentioned. If you want to see our screen, we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can see the screen of the bill. She says, what is in the Dignity Act of 2025? She says the top line is that it secures the border, implements enforcement measures, fixes asylum system, provides dignity to long-term immigrants, supports American workers, and improves our legal immigration system. Okay, so now when we come to border security, the Dignity Act has proposals to maintain complete operational control of the border. Then it moves on to interior enforcement. She wants to implement nationwide mandatory e-verify. That's when, if you're trying to hire anybody to come work for you, you got to make sure that these people have status to work. So just organizations or employers verifying that the people that they're hiring have the valid work permits to be able to work. Okay, and then it goes on to talk about asylum. She wants to end catch and release. She's proposing that they build humanitarian campuses around the southern border so that they can process asylum seekers who are in federal custody. And then she wants the asylum processing expedited within 60 days. There's an increase in penalty for asylum fraud. And then one highlight is the Dignity program. The Dignity program creates a 7-year temporary legal status for undocumented immigrants, and they should have been here for 5 years or more since before 2021. They must pass a criminal background check. They must pay $7,000 in restitution, like payback penalty over 7 years, and there's no federal benefits or entitlement, there's no path to citizenship. Once completed, they can continue to stay in the US and work. Then we have, so we also have something for the dreamers, where the dreamers can have legal status and then eventually apply for US citizenship. You know who the dreamers are? Those who came here when they were young and were able to apply for DACA. Well, you know, it includes DACA recipients, but I believe she has widened the net of the dreamers to kind of include those who came here when they were young. It also establishes a dignity, the dignity program that we just spoke about, And then we have the last part of the bill where she talks about American workers and the economy. She wants to create a $70 billion fund to train and upskill American workers to make them competitive on the job market, higher education, apprenticeships, you know, and then she's going to use the funds that the undocumented immigrants have paid in penalties and restitutions to fund the American prosperity and competitiveness plan as she is proposing. And she's also mentioning that she wants to focus on economic growth and prosperity, where they'll fix the legal immigration system to ensure competitive workforce for the future, reduce backlog for high-skilled employment-based visas, and fund improvement of ports of entry to increase legal commerce and expedite cross-border trade, pay down US debts by at least $50 billion. So she says that this bill uses no taxpayer funding. Her proposal is that the bill will be fully paid for with the fees and restitution payments from illegal undocumented immigrants, and this will pay down the national debt. So in sum, Maria Salazar's Dignity Act of 2025 is divided into 3 portions. The Division A, we have the border security for America. Then Division B, we have the Dignity Act part and the American Promise giving status to undocumented. Then Division C is the American Prosperity and Competitiveness. But as I mentioned, I don't foresee this advancing because there's likely to be a lot of barriers, especially when the Republicans hear any type of amnesty. They just are not in favor of it. If a miracle happens, we will all be very happy because there's just so much chaos and so much unrest and so much anxiety that something like this is really welcome. It's such a good plan. It's a wonderful plan. Even if it has to be amended, I mean, the House and Senate must come together to push this. And so here's how you can take action. You have to Google your House of Representatives and contact them. Contact your congressman, your House of Representatives, and ask them to support this bill, the Dignity Act of 2025. Without you doing anything, then not much is going to happen. Because I already fear for the future because of the reasons I gave you, the future of this bill. But you can also take action. Make sure you are calling your House of Representatives every single day if you are undocumented, even if you're a US citizen. This affects all of us. Because now there's a lot of, vegetables, fruits that are on farms that are getting rotten because the farm workers are not even showing up to work. Their cows are not getting milked. Like, there's just so much happening. Cattle are not being fed. The people that are doing the work, they've all run away. They're afraid. What's the point? We're all going to feel the effect. So if you can do it, spend time. Call your House of Representatives every day if you can. Ask them, please support this. How can we support this? What do we do? Send them emails. Send them letters. Ask them to support the Dignity Act of 2025. And then we can, once we've done all this consistently, we can just wait and see how it goes. But that's the realistic angle, that this is likely to face barriers even in the House of Judiciary Committee. So All right, now let's move on to issue 2. Issue 2 we're going to be discussing is USCIS dismissing asylum applications. Let me take this off. Let me stop sharing the screen. USCIS is dismissing asylum applications. Those who follow us on social media, you are aware that I believe it was last month, we shared a video and information, and we informed you that USCIS was planning to dismiss hundreds of thousands of asylum applications. And so you had to be informed about this, and now they are doing it. They are dismissing hundreds and hundreds. We don't know the numbers yet, but they're dismissing a lot of asylum applications, primarily for those who enter the US without a visa, and some of them were given some type of parole, and so they were told, okay, you can go on and apply affirmatively your asylum with USCIS. Okay, either you're doing a defensive asylum in court or affirmative asylum with USCIS. Some people even had their cases terminated in court and said, go do affirmative asylum application with USCIS. We have also had reports from AILA, American Immigration Lawyers Association, who have said that there are reports from other lawyers that even people who were granted visas who overstayed are also having their their affirmative asylum applications dismissed. There's still a lot we don't know about what they're trying to do. But first of all, the cases we have seen where they're dismissing the asylum applications are people who enter the US unlawfully, they didn't have a visa, and they were issued with a form I-860, meaning they were going to be put in expedited removal, and they expressed a fear of returning to their home country, and as a result, they were they were still able to get some type of parole, and USCIS and the CBP said they could now apply for asylum affirmatively. So the notices are saying that if your case has been dismissed by USCIS, you should contact ICE for a referral back to USCIS so that USCIS will schedule your credible fear screening. It could be that they may be trying to detain people. We're not sure at this time. Please make sure if you are doing these things yourself, you have consulted an attorney just to be sure of what's going on. Okay, let me see. We've shared some of the sample letters on our social media pages. So you'll see that there. So you have to make sure you are prepared for your, credible fear interview. If you have this notice, you're going to have to contact ICE, and then they are going to refer you to an asylum officer to have a credible fear screening. Now, let me come here. Let's see. I have some training from USCIS. This is, I think it's about a 40-page training on what they are looking out for when it comes to credible fear, the kind of things that the officers are looking out for. So whether an alien subject to expedited removal or an alien arriving stowaway has a credible fear of persecution or torture. Okay, let me just go through very quickly. I just highlighted a few portions of this that I could discuss with you. This is the function of credible fear screening. In applying the credible fear standard, we have to understand the function, okay? The function is to quickly identify potentially legitimate or valid claims to protection, and then to be able to weed out fake claims or frivolous claims. Okay, remember that the credible fear screening is not the actual asylum merits interview where you have a full hearing. This is just an initial screening to see, do you have a valid claim? Is this just a lie, or what's going on? Is it true or is not true? Do you have basis? Okay. So that, first of all, what is credible fear? Credible fear of persecution. You have to show to the officer. If you are scheduled for a credible fear interview, you have to show to the officer, asylum officer, that you have a believable or credible fear of persecution. And you can only do this where there's significant possibility, taking into account your credibility, the credibility of your statement to support your claim, and other facts where you are establishing asylum. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are showing there's a significant possibility that you can establish asylum. Let's go on. If you are able to establish significant possibility that you can establish eligibility for asylum or withholding of removal, then then you are likely to pass your credible fear screening. Definition of credible fear of torture. You can also show that you have a credible fear of torture. There's a significant possibility that you are eligible for withholding of removal under US law or deferral of removal. Okay, let's go on. Now, what is the burden of proof? You, as the applicant, the person who's doing the credible fear, you have to establish. This means that you have to bring all the evidence to convince the asylum officer to establish the facts of your case. And your facts must satisfy every element of the relevant standard. And here's how, and this is why thorough preparation is helpful, because if you don't even know what the relevant grounds are, you cannot be prepared. And if you fail to establish one relevant ground and you get a negative finding on your credibility, on your credible fear interview, then that's a problem. You can obviously go to an immigration judge where they can review. If the immigration judge affirms it, then you're going to be, removed or deported from the US. Okay, so, okay, let's go here. You have to submit evidence. An applicant's testimony must satisfy all three prongs of the credible, persuasive, and specific facts test. You cannot be claiming asylum and your story is all over the place. You don't have specific facts. Sometimes I would even interview or speak with some people and the facts are just all over the place. 1 minute they'll claim, oh, the guy, he pointed a knife at me. It was a Saturday. The next minute, he didn't point the knife at me. I saw that he had a knife in his bag. Okay, so which is which? The facts have to be specific. They have to be credible. They have to be persuasive. Even without corroboration. Obviously, if you have corroboration, something that will support what you're saying, that's always good. Okay. All right, let's go on here. Let me see. I don't want to, we're going to just jump over. Maybe we need some more time for this. Okay. And in assessing, the probative value, whether you are proving your testimony, the asylum officer, they are going to distinguish between fact and opinion. Your opinion cannot form fact. And that's one of the things that people fail to realize. The fact that you think this is how things should be doesn't mean that's the reality. When it comes to your asylum case also, it's not just about your feelings. You also have to have the facts very clear, where anybody can see that a reasonable person would either be afraid for his life or was persecuted. Okay. Let's see here. There's so much I highlighted to discuss with you, but as always, we don't have too much time. Let me see here. Let's go back. Okay, yeah, where you have to demonstrate substantial and realistic possibility that you will succeed in your asylum claim. All right, let's come here. Now, when it comes to identity, you must be able to establish your identity credibly. If you are not able to establish your identity credibly, that's a first sign of problem. Your identity is key, who you are, your name, where you were born, your date of birth. Those types of things are crucial to establishing your identity in immigration. And then there is a credibility standard. In making a credible fear determination, they have to look at your credibility, what you are saying. There must be support, other things to support your claims and other things that are known to the officer. So, for example, if you are claiming a country like, let me say, everybody knows, let me use this. Everybody knows the US, gay rights. There's people are allowed to get married. Same-sex couples are allowed to get married. Now, if you are from a country like the US and you claim that, they don't allow, my country doesn't allow me to get married to somebody of my same sex. One thing you guys have to know is that there's something called country conditions that the US Department of State prepares every year for every country. So the US Department of State has everything about a country, and you can find it online. It's called country conditions. So they have information about the fact that Ghana being a lesbian is a crime. Nigeria, it's a crime. Cameroon or whichever country, they have all this information. And so if you come and claim that your country is against gay rights, and they go and look at country conditions, they're like, oh, there's no crime against this, that's a problem. So some of the things that you will see, there will be things that an officer can verify as to whether it's factual or it's not. It cannot be a figment of your imagination. Okay, right there where I've highlighted, the asylum officer they are going to assess your credibility of the claims you are making or the assertions you are making, including other statements made by the applicant. They'll look at evidence of your country conditions, such as department reports, as I mentioned, and all other relevant facts and evidence and all relevant factors. Okay, so there's just so much that goes into asylum. I've been reviewing a lot of the training materials that the officers use. There's so much in there, and which is why sometimes when I hear people say, oh, what can a lawyer do for you? Sometimes I just don't even have the energy to, respond, because there's just so much that if you know, you will be better prepared for your interviews or, credible fear screenings. Now let's come here, evaluating credibility. Guys, it looks like, no, because this is a 38-page document, I remember. It's a lot. Let me just go over this part, page 19. It has some of the important things as well. So you are either establishing that you are afraid because there's past persecution, meaning in the past, there was something that they tried to do to you, a persecutor, a government actor. They were trying to kill you, torture you, harm you. Or so you are either afraid about something in the past that happened, or you have a well-founded fear of future persecution, meaning they didn't do anything to you in the past, but your fear for the future is well-founded. It's not just a figment of your imagination. It's well-founded. The fear is well-founded. The fear has grounding. It has validity. The fear is meritorious. It has a reasonable person would also be afraid, but not when you are imagining, and which is why I've noticed that a lot of the cases that have to do with asylum, where somebody will say, oh, there were spiritual attacks and they were trying to harm me spiritually, and those kind of cases usually will not get approved. I've read several of them, and the judges, DHS, they will, those kind of cases, they barely get approved because they feel like those things are not well-founded. It might be true, but where you have things that they can verify and ascertain, like, oh, gay rights, right? Or maybe there are some gang members or political activism where the opposing party really wants to kill you. Those are things that they, in their regulations and, policies, those are well founded because they are able to, they find those things more credible. It doesn't mean that if you have a spiritual issue, don't apply for your case. Absolutely do it, but I'm just letting you know, from many of the cases I've read, those type of cases barely get approved because they want something that is well founded and credible. Okay, now they'll look at here are the elements required to establish a credible fear: severity of harm, future fear, where you have a well-founded fear. So you either have past harm or future harm. Let me just move on. There's a whole lot to cover, but we don't have too much time. Then you have to show motivation. For a credible fear of persecution, the applicant, they must establish that there's a significant possibility that the persecutor, or the person who was trying to harm them, was or will be motivated to harm them because of your race, maybe because you are Black, or because of your religion, because of your nationality, because you're a member in a particular social group, or because you have a particular, maybe you are gay, you're a transgender, or you suffered FGM, female genital mutilation, or because you belong to a particular political group. And there must be something called nexus. They do the nexus analysis because you, as the applicant, you must possess some type of characteristic, and you are trying to be harmed because you possess that kind of characteristic. Okay, so there's a significant possibility that at least one reason motivating the persecutor is the applicant's perceived characteristic. You possess that characteristic. Okay. Now, persecutor, there must be a persecutor. There must be a persecutor. It can be a government, or it can be someone that your home country government doesn't want to control. So your government may be trying to harm you, or some other people that your police or your government, they're just not able to control them. Okay. So there is a lot to cover when it comes to credible fear. There's a lot to cover. And so the dismissed applications is saying that jurisdiction has moved now to ICE. Some people are getting the letters saying that, okay, we've dismissed your asylum case as of today. You can wait for a date and appointment for your credible fear screening. You'll be notified of this. Others are saying that go to ICE and then make sure that ICE is able to refer you to the asylum office for a credible fear screening. Okay. All right, so that's happening with the asylum. If you have received any of these notices, contact us, and then let's see how we can help you. All right, let's go on to the next issue. Do we have, I think we have some other discussions. You guys, I don't know if you've seen the post we made today about alligator Alcatraz. I mean, very, very shocking, disturbing. The people there are claiming they're drinking water from the toilet. But I mean, if you're in the US at this time, certain parts of the US is really hot. Florida is exceptionally hot. I've never been there. I hear it's very hot. And these people don't have air conditioning. There's poop and pee on the floor, and they're in these conditions. They have just 2 minutes to eat. The food has worms. Terrible, terrible condition. So that's for your attention. It's a good time to make sure that if you're submitting any immigration application, you try to, at the very minimum, very least, make sure you get legal consultation to see what's going on, to get insights about your case, even a little bit. But I would always recommend to work with an attorney, because the simplest mistakes could land you somewhere you don't want to end up. Again, if you've been following our social media, USCIS also released data about backlog in US immigration cases, and the numbers are not good. I believe as of last year, they had about 9 million pending cases. Now we're at 11.3 million, over 11.3 million pending cases. And you know, 11.3 million pending cases. Oh my gosh, let me see. I think my screen will not share because yeah, it's downloaded the Excel sheet instead of sharing. Let me take it off. I think we have the 11.3 million pending cases, guys. And immigration court also has almost 4 million pending cases. These numbers have just jumped up. They just keep going up. And so the backlog is very, okay. I don't think I have, let me see. It's not showing up here. Let's see here. I wanted to see if I could share the numbers here with you, but I think we shared it on our social media. So you should be able to see it. Oh, okay. I think I can share using my screen. Let me see. I think I should be able to share here. Is it this one? Okay, I'm just trying to share the numbers, the backlog numbers with you guys. I wanted us to take a look at it. Yeah, but we shared it on our social media, so you'll see the numbers. And we also shared one of the striking numbers. Asylum denials are now more than the approvals for fiscal year 2025. They are more. So you know, asylum is always very tough, a very tough type of application, because what some people mistakenly believe is that, oh, if I'm a good person, or if I tell the truth that I'm coming to find money for my family, I'll get asylum, which is fine. You have to tell the truth, right? Because you are under oath. But unfortunately, being a good person, you're going to get the case denied if you are not eligible, because you are fleeing persecution. Then your case is going to get denied. Your case is going to get denied. Fortunately, I cannot. Let me see. I was trying to see. We downloaded this. I'm not sure why. Oh, I think I know what I'm going to do now. Let's see here. Hold on. Yeah, I downloaded it right here in my email. I don't know if this is going to work. It's still rerouting to another part. Well, yeah, it's not, I'm not able to show my screen on this because it's going on to the Excel sheets, but there's a lot of cases pending. So don't be disturbed that they are so backlogged. They are backlogged. And one of the things that I found devastating, you guys, is that some people will wait 3 years, 4 years, 2 years for their application, only for the case to get denied. And that's the thing. If you are waiting, then you better be waiting properly. Be waiting with hope. Oh yeah, it's not showing. You better be waiting with hope, because if you are waiting on something that is wrongly done, then what's the point? That's why it's important you make sure that you get it right from the start, right from the get-go. You have things right, you've done it properly, so that you're waiting and it's not in vain, and it is worth your wait. Okay, because if you wait and the case gets denied and you have to start all over again, you guys, it's very, very, very discouraging. I've seen families break up because of these things, these long distance things. It just makes it a mess. It's like, look, I can't continue to wait any longer. some of the people. And sometimes I just feel so bad because some people, maybe they are doing a fiancé visa. It took them about 3 or 4 years. Sometimes it will take, the first part would take, took them 2 years. Maybe they had an RFE, request for evidence somewhere. And then they finally get to the other stage where they have to book an appointment. They go through it. And then at the end of 3 years or 4 years after they started the process, the entire case gets denied. The girlfriend was outside the US trying to come into the US so that they could get married. Sometimes she's like, oh, I'm 40, I've already hit 40. It took us 4 years. I can't wait another 4 years just to do this all over again. And sometimes it will take more than 4 years to fix the mess, because when they deny the case at the embassy will now send the petition back to USCIS. It can take about a year or a year and a half. USCIS will get the petition, and then USCIS will take their sweet old time and then now send a notice of intent to revoke the underlying petition. By the time that process is up, maybe about 2 more years has passed before you respond, before they start so some people it's just not going to work for their timeline. They're like, look, so I see it a lot. Families breaking up, people breaking up because of errors in their filings, and they have to start all over again, and they don't have the patience to do all that again. So just make sure, for your own sanity, if you want your marriage or you want your relationship, don't listen to your US citizen spouse who say, oh, let me do it myself because they want to save money. If it's your petition, make sure you're on the same page with your spouse, and get the right help you need. Because when there's any issue, any type of, even if you're even here in the US and there's any denial, you're the one going to face the issue. You're the one going to be, if there's going to be detention, your US citizen spouse, he can cry for you, but he'll be sleeping in his bed. So if you are the immigrant, you have to make sure that you're doing the right thing with your case. It's always your name, so make sure that you have the right help. I'm very I don't know why this is not showing. Let me see if I can pull it up. I wanted to show you guys the numbers. Okay, let's see here. All right, let me see. I think we may have some questions while I'm waiting to see if my team will be able to upload the numbers for me. Let's see if we have some questions here. Jay Nana Entry says on TikTok, I arrived after 2-year anniversary and got a 10-year green card. I was initially issued CR1. Is this normal? Yeah, I mean, you came, if you are married for less than 2 years when your green card case gets approved, then you will get the CR1 immigrant visa, conditional resident 1, which is the spouse of a conditional resident. Conditional resident is somebody who's been married for less than 2 years when they get their green card approved. And the IR is for people who have been married for more than 2 years when their green card gets approved. So if now you are married, you've been married for more than 2 years, then you have your 10-year green card. That's great. Okay, let me see if there's another question. Can I travel frequently internationally with green card? Zaragoza, Ghana says, you can travel, but I don't know about frequently internationally. As a green card holder, this should be your permanent place of residence. If you're going out, do not stay outside for more than 160 days. 180 days. Try and come back and make sure that this is really your permanent place. You can't be here, you are working somewhere, you are living somewhere, children are in school outside the US. Then it shows that you're not really a permanent resident, of the United States. So now the Trump administration, they are not playing. If they see that you're not a permanent resident, then they are like, they could place you in removal proceedings, or they could try to let you sign the form I-407. There's some news reports about a certain gentleman who lives in New Hampshire, and he's a green card holder, and he was trying to come back in, and he was denied entry. Green card holders cannot be denied entry into the US. It's likely that this person, and even in the news article, I double checked again. The news article said that he withdrew his admission. So they gave him the opportunity to either withdraw his request for admission, like trying to ask for permission to enter the US because he was Canadian. He's like, okay, look, because what they said was that if he tries to come back into the US, he'll be detained because I believe he had some criminal issues. And so if he didn't want to be detained, and so he said, "Look, I'm just withdrawing my request to be admitted into the U.S." And so the news media is not presenting it properly. It's not like he was denied admission, and that's been a concern of many people. As a green card holder, you are allowed to come back inside the U.S. CBP will not deny you entry into the US. Nobody can take away your green card status or resident status apart from an immigration judge, or you decide to voluntarily abandon it. CBP, the worst they can do if you have criminal issues is they will detain you and refer you to immigration court, or they will just let you in and then refer you to immigration court and you go to court. So if you don't want to be detained and you say, okay, you know what, I'm just withdrawing my admission, my request for admission to the US, that's different from, the person was denied entry. So green card holders, you can travel and you can come back. If you, however, have any issues on your green card, criminal issues, fraud issues, any type of red flag, even a pink flag or a violet flag, please don't travel at this time unless it's a life and death matter. And if you're traveling, you have to be aware of the consequences. You could come back in, but you could be detained or you'll be sent to immigration court. If you are a green card holder, you're coming into the US, you generally should be fine if you have no criminal record or have no issues. If you're coming in, even if you've been gone longer than 180 days, you still have the right to enter the US as a green card holder. If the CBP forces you to sign something called the Form I-407, just don't sign it. You have the right not to sign the Form I-407, which is a record of abandonment of lawful permanent residence. Because if you do, then you have given it up, okay? And you are no longer a lawful permanent resident. So just be aware. Let me see here. Let me see on Instagram. I think there was somebody that was asking a question from the start. How is it to travel these days being an F1 visa? What country are you from, first of all? Are you studying? If you are studying, I would recommend just stay put and study. You already know they've said it time and time again. A visa is just a privilege, it's not a right. And so if there are any triggers or issues, then as for students, you can be denied entry into the US. H1B, if you're on any type of non-immigrant visa, you can be denied entry into the US. H1B, F1 visa, L1, all these types of visas, you can be denied entry outrightly. Green card holders are the ones that have more rights than non-immigrants when coming back into the US. So as a student, it depends. Feel free to contact us and we can take a look at what's going on with you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Devandra 59202 on Instagram says, Respected ma'am, I'm the vendor from India. My J1 visa was refused on April 28, 2025. Since then, I've been waiting for slot openings and humbly request for your request your guidance on when they are expected to reopen. The vendor, I see you've posted a lot. Oh my gosh. So the truth of the matter is that the FMNJ visa slots are really choked because just very limited slots they have, and they are really digging into people's social media. So you have to check with your local US embassy to see when they can get you a slot. And some people in India, I believe there were about 1,000 applications that were canceled for people who tried to get agents to book appointment slots for them. So be careful with that as well. We've had people who have had their visas revoked because of agents booking slots for them because the agents apparently compromised the system somehow. So just be careful with that. Okay. I have There was a comment here I wanted to read. Oh, okay. Osman's Jr. on Instagram says, "Good work, sis. You're the best. Thank you very much." Okay, you guys, this is the guy's American dream. He's pasted the question like 10 times, and people were telling him, chill, chill. Why? Just laughing. But yeah, the American dream uh, is real. People want to come and experience it too. And that's why the American dream is so. I mean, people think there's no American dream, but if there's no American dream, why is the whole world so in love with America? I mean, now people are very angry because of what's happening. But even then, if they were given a visa, they'll still come and pursue the American dream because of the. I feel like it's because of the reward system. In America, you put in, work. If you put in work, let's say you 10, let's say the work level is 10, at a level of 10, you are likely to reap a hundredfold reward. If you put in that same level of work anywhere else in the world, or even if you put in 20 in certain parts of the world, you might just reap one, and so that's one of the reasons why people love America, because it rewards hard work, it rewards creativity, it rewards even just being regular. You see, you are just a regular person in America. You have access to medical care. You have access to a nice job, and you get your dollars at the end of the month. You can go to the grocery store, you can buy milk, you can buy cereal, you can buy meat, you can buy rice, you can buy butter, you can buy tomatoes, and you can enjoy your meal. You sit in the comfort of your one-bedroom apartment. You have high-speed internet. You have movies you can watch. You can buy soda, drink, sleep in peace. So even at the very bare minimum, America can reward you with a very comfortable life. But there are many parts of the world where you will put in 100 and you just get back one in terms of results. America, you can put in 10 and you will get back 100, very comfortably. And if you are putting in even more, then obviously you can be rewarded even more, which is why people are crazy about the American dream. It is real. Don't let anybody deceive you. It is actually very real. Okay, my team has been able to pull up the numbers for us. You guys, can you see it? Let me see here. Yeah, this is a family based. Let's see. We have the family based here. Okay, this is the second quarter. I still don't have the total cases that I wanted, but that's okay. We can just look at a few of these. Second quarter is from, I believe, January 2025 to March 2025. Family-based, USCIS received 3.8 million cases, family-based, in just these 3 months. And then they approved 2.3 million cases they've denied 260,768, and then they've completed 2.7 million cases. You guys, out of the denied cases, 260,768, some of those denied cases shouldn't have been denied. So if you got the right help, our work here is to always maximize your chances of an approval. Nothing hurts me more than seeing a case where I'm like, this was an easy win. They just did the wrong thing or didn't know. Nothing hurts me more because you just spend a lot more money and you are just more messed up. So make sure you always get the right help. Let me see here. I'm not able to go to the end of the screen because it's a wider the Excel sheet is very wide. But if you look at family based, it is that currently pending. We have 11 million cases that are currently pending. 11 million cases that are currently pending. Let me see if I can share that with you guys. Let me see if we can share that. Keep dropping your questions. I'll try to answer them momentarily. And let me see, I'm trying to send this to me so that we can share the screen for that. Let's see here. Okay. Guys, drop your questions, drop your emojis if you can still hear me, if you're still following, if you're enjoying the live session, drop an emoji for me. USA, just type in USA or just type in just put in the flag. Oh, just put in the flag of the US as well. Let me see here. Let's see. Let me take this off. And then I'm going to share the screen again with you. You guys, make sure you're following us on social media, okay? Make sure you're following us. We share a lot of insightful information. Why am I not able to? I'm not sure what my people are doing. I'm trying to get some of these off my screen so that I can share my screen. Okay. All right, let's see. Can you travel? Stephen Asani says, can you travel to and back abroad with your conditional green card? Yes, you can do. Your conditional green card can do everything a 10-year permanent green card can do. The conditional green card is valid for just 2 years. It can do everything that regular 10-year green card can do. The only difference is that for the conditional green card, 90 days before it expires, if you're trying to file a joint removal of conditions, you have to do so with your wife and you have to remove the conditions. If you're doing a waiver, you also have to do that. But you can work, you can travel, you can petition for somebody with a conditional green card application. So that is very, very, very doable. Okay, let me see. I think I can do this here now. Okay. I thought I couldn't do it. Good, good, good. I've been able to share my screen. Great, wonderful. This is what I was looking for. I think you guys can see me very well. Okay, let's come here. So look at the family-based, currently pending fiscal year to date. It starts from October 2024 to September 2025. 11.3 million cases pending. When we come to, that's the total of all case pending. When it comes to family-based, I believe the fiance petition is 31,000. I-130 is almost 1 million cases, 902,455. That's why the I-130s take so long to get approved or processed. Now look at the second I-130. So there's two I-130s. The second one is 1.4 million. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me see. I think they've divided it into two. So I'm trying to just pull up the link, and then I can see what the different petitions are. The I-130 first one is for immediate relative, then the second one is all other relatives. Okay, so the one that's 902,455 is for immediate relatives, meaning the spouse, parent, child of a U.S. citizen, minor child of a U.S. citizen. And then the second I-130, which is 1.4 million cases, it's for all other relatives, so siblings of U.S. citizens, adult children of U.S. citizens, and all that. Okay. Then, we have the other petitions. Humanitarian asylum is 1.5 million cases pending. And then we have I-730 family, refugee, asylee. Let me see here. Refugee, asylee, relative petition. That's the asylum people petitioning for their family members. 32,514. Then we have the I-918 under the humanitarian. Under the humanitarian, the I-918 is a petition for you non-immigrant status. It is currently 412,815. And there's a cap of just 10,000 a year. So it's going to take a very long time for you visas to be adjudicated. The backlog is insane, you guys. The backlog is insane. 11.3 million cases pending. It's incredible. Which one is the 808? Let me show you guys another application that is almost a million pending. My screen just keeps zoning out. Hold on. Let me zoom back in. 800 and I think it's under the humanitarian, and it is the okay. So the 821 is the application for TPS. 821 is the application for TPS. Okay, so that's 808,000. Almost a million people who have applied for TPS. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, TPS. Okay, so that's almost a million as well. Let me see any other big numbers, big numbers here. Under the employment based also, there's one that is 1.3 million cases pending. I think it is the employment authorization for DACA. DACA employment authorization is the one that has the I saw one that is, yeah. Look at this, 1.3 million cases. That's it's under the employment based. Under the employment based, there's 1.3 million cases under one category of work permits. You guys, the system is so overwhelmed. It's not even funny, so overwhelmed. People are waiting for their work permit, and you guys, the front log is 34,000. Apparently, it's also very high. Front log, the cases that they've received but haven't even opened. Those cases are just sitting in the mail room, and USCIS has not opened or processed, try to assign those cases. Let me see the 1 point. Let me look at the 1 point, was it 3 million? 3 million that we saw. Yes, 1.3. Let me see again. It's very hard to, okay. So it's the first 765 before the 76510. Okay, I'll find it here. Okay, so yes, it's for DACA. Work authorization for DACA is the 1.3 million cases pending. Wow. Okay. So those are some very big numbers there. All right. So let me see if we have some. Oh gosh, we're over our time now. We're over our time now. Please contact me if you need help with any U.S. immigration matter. We're here to help you. You guys are, our consultations are very good. People will tell you. You go on Google, you'll be able to read our reviews. Our consultations are cutting edge. You will get 10 times more than what you paid for. So don't be worried. We're not just here to take your money. I had a number of meetings before I had this in person, and one of the people who came into the office told me, he just kept telling me he's been to other lawyers, and oh my God, this, we're explaining so well. He's so happy he found us, and we hear this all the time. We're here to help you, so please make sure you contact us if you need help with any U.S. immigration matter. You can trust us, because we are really here to help you. We're not just here for, let me get this off quickly. Oh my gosh, yeah. We're not just here for show or for any other thing. We're here to get results. The results are the number one reason we're here. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't yet followed our page, make sure you're following across all social media, AK Poku, follow, like, and when you see our posts, engage with our posts. Give our posts a thumbs up, a hug, a like, a comment, a share. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you soon in our next video, in our next live video session next week. Take care. And if you want to contact us, our number is right there, 802-780-0564. You can go into our bio. Our numbers are there. You can DM us. All our flyers have our numbers underneath it. And all our posts usually try to have numbers underneath it. So you'll be able to find us. If you don't find us, just Google AK Poku Law and you will find us. You will for sure find us if you search for us. Okay. Take care, guys. Thanks again for joining. Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend.